We're back. We're talking about the Attica State Prison Uprising. We're talking about the state side of it, right? We've talked about the observers. We've talked about the prisoners and the leaders. We've talked about that first day. Now, by the first day, they're going to have taken over DER. They're going to have elections for representation in terms of the prisoners. They're going to make sure that the hostages are safe and comfortable. And at first, the hostages are very, very uncomfortable. And then people start pulling beds out for them, and they make sure that they're fed, and they make sure everyone is getting medicine that they need. And then they start talking to the state representatives. Now, we've talked about Nelson A. Rockefeller. He is the big boy. The buck stops with him. However, there are other people who will actually be at the prison. Let me refresh your memory on what Rocky looks like. Nelson A. Rockefeller, aka Rocky, he is the grandson of John D. Rockefeller. He is the governor at the time. He really wants to be president. He will never get to that presidential seat. He will become vice president after Richard Nixon is impeached, after Spiro Agnew resigns, after Gerald Ford becomes president. Then he becomes vice president. So you can imagine that while he is vice president and all of these hearings are happening, nobody really wants to depose the vice president, but they do anyways. But realistically, when we're talking about the Attica Prison Uprising, the buck does stop with him. I do think he made some grave mistakes. He listened to the wrong people, and he never went, despite, Russell Oswald asking, despite Walter Dunbar asking, despite all the observers, Tom Wicker, the editor from the New York Times, and the prisoners requesting him to show up. He never came. He will be the person that orders the retaking of the prison on September 13th. This is Russell Oswald. Russell Oswald is the commissioner of the New York State Correctional Facilities. He is a reformer. He has worked with other folks. He has also been on the other side of Herman Schwartz, our prisoner legal advocate, who is an attorney who shows up and is the first person to show up, right? So this is the first day. Russell Oswald will get there around 5 p.m., I believe, is the timing there, and he will say, he'll go in with Herman Schwartz and Arthur Eve for a second visit. Basically, his main goal is to get the hostages out, and the prisoners will not even bring the hostages out. They won't even talk about it. They won't even bring it up in conversation until he agrees to full amnesty. Mr. Walter Dunbar, he is our deputy commissioner of the New York State Correctional System. This is from the 1974 documentary Attica. There's a link to watch it in my resource link. You can also find the link to the Blood in the Water book. You should read that as well. It's very good. Now, watching this 1974 documentary, you will get angry at Walter Dunbar. I'll put it that way. This is Vincent Mancusi, our superintendent. He is the one that is allowing the very, very, very racist correctional officers to do and say whatever they want to these people. What Russell Oswald will note is after his first interaction with the prisoners and the leaders of this uprising is that they were very, very polite to him. They treated him with very much, very cordial, and they said, it's not you, it's the local administration that we have an issue with, right, and the way that they treat us. Now, the representatives from state will change as the lawsuits progress throughout, the back end afterwards. But another person I could not find was John Monahan. There's too many John Monahans, and he's the chief of the state troopers. He's going to lead the charge going in. Now, the state troopers are going to arrive on that first day, and a lot of them will stay out there or kind of filter in and out over the next 4 days. So by the time that they're actually retaking the prison, they're going to be fucking tired as shit. They're going to be angry, they're going to be tired, they're going to be cold, they're going to be rained on, they haven't slept. And the men in the prison aren't really sleeping that much either, because they know that at any moment in time this could happen. So they're kind of all on edge, right? And this brings us to the end of our first day. We'll talk about some of the negotiations on the second day, the third day, the fourth day, how they fall apart, when Bobby Seale shows up, all these things. So keep following along. It's just a really big series, and I want to honor the people who are affected by it by doing it correctly.